Welcome back to this week's episode of the Red Card Report. I'm Sebastian, and today we have a packed episode for you guys covering La Liga's tight title race as well as some other major moments across European football. Today I'm joined by Albert. How are you, Albert?
Yo, man, what's good? Just been chilling, man. Ready to talk about some football. Hopefully, you are ready as well.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. It was a really interesting week.
Yeah,
Week that we've had across the football landscape in general. So I'm really excited to talk, today about everything that we have planned out.
yes, sir. For this week, Sebastian and I talked about it, and we have a new segment for you guys called the Red Card of the Week, where we have like two or three options or moments that, some players or manager or whatever got a red card throughout the game. We'll talk about it. We'll decide which of the options we think deserves the red card of the week. To start us off, man, the Hummels red card. What do you think, man? Minute 10, he goes in on that tackle. Do you think it was a fair call, harsh call on the ref?
No, I mean, honestly, I was looking at that tackle like the
Yeah.
day after the game, and I was like, I thought to myself, I was like, that's so unnecessary from him. There was no need for Homos to go into any sort of tackle like that, especially when the game had just started.
Yeah, minute 10 is
Um,
crazy.
yeah, and I think they were playing it was for the Europa League, correct?
Yeah, for the Europa League, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it was really uncalled. It wasn't even, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it was very necessary either from Hummels to commit that foul, to get him that red card, especially leaving his team for 80 plus minutes, one man down, which effectively cost Roma the qualification to the next step into the Europa League and gave the Atletico Bilbao that remontada, as we like to say. But
yeah, I think you can say that.
yeah, yeah, easily, dude. I mean, it definitely hurt them in the long run of the game. So
Yeah, it really put Aroma down, and even Hummels himself came out, I believe, after the match, and even commented on it. He was like, "Oh, I really want to apologize, to the fans and even to Ranieri, the coach, because I remember in the beginning of the season when he signed for Roma, Ranieri
yeah,
was like, "Oh, like I have a lot of confidence in Hummels that he'll be able
yeah,
to perform for the team. I know what kind of center back he is. He's a World Cup winning center back. Like I'm not trying to say it in a bad way or anything like that, but I feel like it was just a moment from him that he kind of just wasn't thinking. You can kind of
yeah. It
say
just
that.
happened, man. It's those moments where the defenders have like 1 to 2 seconds to decide what they're gonna do, and he made the wrong decision that time. But that's how football is, I guess. But he realized
Yeah.
his mistake afterwards. He came out. He apologized to the fans. He apologized to Ranieri, and he went on from there. But we have another controversial red card this week that we can talk about, and it's Deli Ali's first appearance after what 2023, 2 years now, pretty much. He
Yeah.
gets subbed on for this is by the way this is in the Como v Milan game. He gets subbed on I think in the 83rd or 86th minute. Comes on, starts doing pretty well, and then 10 minutes into the game he does this tackle slash whatever it was.
It was
And
bad.
at first he gets a yellow, right? And then VAR steps in, refs goes and checks it out, and then reverses his decision to a straight red. Which
Now,
yeah, you think it
it
was
was a
deserved?
bad tackle. Yeah, no, it was. Dude, I again that video, and you watch it in like slow motion. He's like stepping on like the middle part of his calf, pretty much. I
Yeah,
think
like right
if he
above his
goes,
ankle under his calf. It's bad. Definitely was
he,
deserved, but I don't know if you saw what happened right before he got the red card, but you had Kyle Walker because they used to play together at Tottenham, right?
mhm.
Kyle Walker going up to the ref trying to stop him from giving him the red card because he knew it was his first appearance in 2 years. But like I was like, oh man, it's just unlucky, and it's just again another unnecessary foul for a player to do. But yeah, man, and then like I think like 5 minutes later, Fabregas made a remark to the ref about a different foul, and then mentioned Deli Ali's red card as well, and then he got a red card and got ejected from the Como game as well.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. I think the Serie A really has been thinking about a lot of red cards,
A lot,
like
man.
a
They're
lot.
ruthless over there.
Yeah, I mean, I
They
feel
are
like that's good
not.
though.
It is good. It's good,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's very. I mean, it makes games more entertaining as we see, you know.
yeah,
But
definitely, I
in
agree.
in your opinion, right? Which of the two deserves the red card of the week for you?
In between those two,
In between those two, yeah, yeah.
I would say honestly, I would say Dele Alli. Like I'm sorry. That was bad. Like he could have broken his leg.
Yeah,
It was
I'll agree with you. I would have chosen Deli Ali's as well, especially because it's his first time after 2 years, I guess. But
yeah.
it's bad. It's very
No,
bad.
it was a bad tackle.
Definitely
I
deserved, but
yeah. So I think this week's red card of the week goes to Dele Alli.
there you go, Deli Ali. If you're listening to us, man, you got the red card of the week.
Got the first red card of the
That's
week.
an honor. That's an honor right there.
Yeah. But now we're gonna be moving on to a discussion about the change in the format for this year's Champions League. And we're gonna be comparing if we think the group stage was a better format or if this new like league system that they implemented this year is better than the groups. What do
Yeah.
you think about that, Albert? Give me a slight opinion.
Honestly, I like it. I like the league stage just because it gives different teams opportunities to make it into the round of 16s, right? So we saw a team like Club Brugge go in. We saw teams, who was it? Atlanta was in there. We had Aston Villa, who's now in the quarterfinals as well. But we see newer teams being able to go further because of it, and it's not just like the group stage where you have to make a certain amount of points, top two go through, etc. At least this one, first eight go through automatically, and then between 9 and 25, I believe, goes
Yeah,
in
24.
24 goes into a round of 16 or playoffs. But I personally do like it. It adds a lot more excitement to the competition for sure. What do you think, man? Do you like the change?
I mean, me personally, at first, when I heard that they were gonna like do this change, I was slightly opposed to it.
Okay.
I feel like only because I'm used to like the old group stage format where we have like the four teams. And sometimes the Champions League was, I remember, when again I'm going back to the group stage format, we
Yeah.
would get like these like crazy groups of death
Yep.
some years. Like it was like I remember one year we had like PSG, Manchester United was in another group and I think Barca was in that group as well. And it was just like a really fun year for the league. I mean, but at the same time, I feel like I kind of agree with you that the new change does add more excitement for the teams that can go through.
Yeah.
Like especially like you mentioned Club Brugge. It's they had a decent run in
They did.
getting into the round of 16. They did fall out against Aston Villa, unfortunately. It's fun to see little teams like that. And then even
I mean,
we've
we
even
all
seen
go ahead. Go ahead.
Lille, like they finished seventh in this
Yeah.
year's Champions League like table, and then they were dark horses to win, well, not to win, but to cause some
To
trouble.
advance furthermore and cause
Yeah,
trouble for
like
other teams. Yeah.
yeah, they have really good players. Jonathan David is good. Like he's a really good striker. So
We
I
al-
like to see that.
Adding on to that, we also had the opportunity to not just see like we had the opportunity to see bigger teams go into a round of or round of 16 slash playoffs. We got to see Man City, we got to see PSG, Milan, Bayern, Madrid, Dortmund, all these teams that just qualify straight through and actually have to battle out with one of like let's say Brest, Feyenoord, Celtic, Sporting, Club Rouge, where they're not the easiest teams when you look at the games and how they turned out. But it gave those exciting matches as well, which was good to see.
Yeah, and I know we keep bringing up Club Rouge, but
I just
it was
like them,
just
man.
because they knocked out Atlanta in
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
like knockout stage. I remember, talking about that game. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Atlanta going into that game, Atlanta's definitely a favorite to win. Gasparini's gonna just,
Destroy pretty
dominate Club
much, yeah.
Brugge. Lookman's gonna play well." And then we kind of just saw Atlanta
We
fall
saw the
apart.
complete opposite.
Yeah. So like I said,
They
yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think this
yeah.
kind of it is fun to see all these smaller teams. But now let me ask you this. We have more teams and there is, more teams equals more games.
Yep.
Now, do you think more games in the long run are a good thing or a bad thing? And I'm speaking as a whole, like, for players
Okay.
and for
If
like the league in general.
I'll say if you're looking at it from a fan's perspective, right? I'll do 2%, but if you're looking at it through a fan's perspective, I think it's good for football because one, yes, you get more games, you get more teams. Like you want to see more games. That's what, as a fan, that's what you want, realistically, right? But if we're talking about as a footballer or as if it helps in general, I think it's come to shown that it's not the best because you have seen how many injuries each team has gotten through this year's Champions League like rendition. You
Yeah.
know, so it's just in the long run. Currently, I do like it. I think it's good for football, but future wise and future length, I think it's not good at all because we'll see a lot more players going through injuries and I think unfortunately not helping their teams out when they mostly need them due to them playing too many games. Because on top of the Champions League, they have their own domestic leagues, they got their own domestic cups, all that added up to the Champions League, and then you got international breaks, you got international competitions during the summers as well. So I think long run, no, I don't think it's good for football. I think it's more of a revenue thing for them. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, we've seen it in the last couple of years with how with the Super League when it was like Madrid and all those Barca trying to create the Super League
Yeah,
for
City,
all the
PSG.
revenue. Yeah, so it's definitely for more revenue and just to try to put as many games on for, to be televised.
Yeah,
I ultimately think that it's bad for player health.
big
Like
time.
I think we saw it at the beginning of the season with Rodri. He literally
Yeah,
tore his ACL. He had played, 80 plus games since last year.
yeah.
That's a lot of like wear and tear on your body. So I feel like it's bad. I think that they're gonna have to like figure out a change. I don't know. More teams is good, yeah, but maybe less matches or
Or just spread them out more, you know? One or the other. Make the like the more teams, more matches is fine, but like spread them out a bit more for players to get a more rest between them.
yeah, but then I feel like if you say you suggest, spread them out, I feel like you start to see the leagues and other competitions kind of clash into each other.
Yeah.
You mentioned the domestic leagues and international breaks and things like that. Like there is not enough time to fit uh three football matches into a week. Players need at least 72 hours
At
of
least
of rest to be able to like play another 90 minutes.
yeah.
And it's crazy to see how some of these schedules are. Like teams are playing every 2 days, every 3 days. So ultimately, I think it's just not good for the longevity of anybody, the
No.
football players, the health of football in general. Like I think they'll have to do another change at some point, definitely.
I can see a future change within like the next 5 years or so. Again, because of how it's going and how it's going to go. I don't know, man. It's one we'll have to watch and see throughout as the years unfold and see what happens. Seeing what happened. Did you see what happened to Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona this week after
Oh
going into
yeah,
the first half, winning 2-0 and then absolutely bottling it and losing 4-2?
yeah. No, that game was something. I'll tell you that. I think, yeah. No, it's funny to see Atletico. I don't want to say funny.
Nah, it was pretty funny.
I mean, to you as a Barca fan, I feel like that's funny. It was sad to see them really slip away that 2-0 lead like that. Um, you know, going into the first half. Actually, it wasn't a 2-0 lead going into the first half. It
It
was a
was
1-0
1-0 lead,
lead.
sorry. Yeah, 1-0
One
lead.
zero lead.
And
Sorry, I
then
apologize.
second half it was a 2-0 lead.
Yes,
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez scored in the first in the 45th minute,
Yeah, right
which I
before
might add,
halftime.
that goal was I have no idea how he scored that.
It's Julian,
I
man.
watched that. I watched that goal back, and he's running into the box
Yep.
like towards the goal, and the pass that is made to him is coming behind him. Like the ball is coming behind him as he's running into the box, so he practically has to adjust his body. He stops a bit in his run and just manages to scoop the ball into the net.
Yeah,
with, I think it was his right foot. It was like the most. It was a crazy tap in. You can really say because that's really what it was.
yeah.
When I saw him do that, I was like, that's a
Dude,
crazy great goal. It was a good
and
goal.
listen, props to Atleti, right? Like the first half, they did very good with killing off Barca's like the central midfielders overload that I usually tend to do, where they have Pedri, they got Olmo, they got Rafinha, they got either Gavi or De Jong in the middle, where they just got at least 3 or 4 people that are just always in the middle berating the defense. But then Atleti just did very good with having DePaul and Llorente drag those players, and then Atleti started at a 4-4-2 to begin the game, right? And
Yeah.
then Barca's overloaded mid made Simeone change to a 5-4-1, which brought out his son Simeone, right, to play more of a right wing back to be able to stop Balde.
Yeah,
Because Llorente
that's
plays back there with him, and he had Rafinha, so he couldn't control Rafinha and Balde. So
yeah,
switching to that 5-4-1 allowed Llorente to go with Rafinha and Simeone to go for Balde. You know, which as we saw for the first half, they did very well with it.
yeah. I think it was pretty much like an overload on the wings.
Yeah.
Um, against Barca. Barca do commit a lot of players.
Yep.
Barca's defensive line is pretty much at the 50
Yeah.
at at the center field whenever the team have possession.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that
and
makes sense.
at the second half, we saw, well, at least I saw Atleti going from a 5-4-1 to a 5-3-2. So leaving Julian and Griezmann up top to do more of a counter attack style, where they do the very centered press in the middle, and then once they get that control back, they push it straight to either Griezmann and Julian to get that counter attack going right away. And that's exactly what happened on the second goal. You know, you got
Yeah, it's
Griezmann go
pretty.
through and then cross it in. You got that goal. So it worked. But then I think just Barca just like minute 70 and forward, you just dominated, canceling all of what Simeone was trying to do with them.
So I think it's funny that you mentioned the second goal that Atleti scored. Because I think there was a foul for Barca that wasn't called
Yes.
in that game. And I really feel like that when that call went against them, it kind of woke them up. And it was
Yep.
like, all right, well, let's just kind of really start dominating this game. And that's really
Yeah.
what they did. They turned into a different team in the second
Dude,
half.
Hansi
Like,
Flick, man, I gotta give him props. He makes the subs, but this one sub, right? You'll know exactly what I'm
wait,
talking about.
I wanna pause you right there because
Okay, okay. Before go ahead, go ahead.
You mentioned the subs, and I think I really want to say that one of, and we talked about this, it wasn't on the show last week, but you and me talked about this outside of here, but we
Yeah.
mentioned how Simeone always makes
Yeah.
like bad substitutions, like when he does not need to be making
And always, yeah, always causes
like
them to lose
those
because of it.
substitutions, or he switches his team to be like more defensive when he thinks that he's gonna have control of the game, and then
Yep.
it just ends up like slipping away from his hands. Like he made the same subs he did against
Madrid.
he made the same subs
Yeah.
he did against Madrid. He took off he took off let's see, he took off Julian Alvarez in the 60th minute. He took off Lino in the 60th minute as well, and
Yep.
he brought on Conor Gallagher and Sorloth.
Yep.
So that already he practically, it was a striker for a striker, but he took out a left mid for a center mid. So he
Yep.
was already, starting to play more narrow. And then huh, let's talk about him subbing on Noel Molina. I'm not even saying it in a bad way, but again, another very defensive substitution in a right back in
Yeah.
a
Just
game where he's
it's
still not in
it's a
control.
game where you're fighting for the title. Like it's not any like your other Liga games where you know you're definitely gonna win, right? Like no offense to the other teams. But when you're playing teams like Madrid or Barca, you can't make those substitutions because it will cost you the game. And as we saw, it.
Yeah,
But
it was they Ancelotti pretty much just kind of I won't say crumbled at the end, but they kind of just really let Barca start taking control of the game, and
yeah,
we ultimately end up seeing Lamine Yamal put away that crazy 1% chance like deflection goal that he
off
scores.
off of his calf that goes in.
Yeah, like that. I think the goal was already coming off a deflection before he
Yeah,
hit the second deflection. And then, And then, we can also talk about,
Hansi Flick subbing
Hansi
on El Tiburon, bro.
Ferran Torres.
Ferran
Can you
Torres,
can
dude.
you can
Listen,
you please give me a bit of insight on the
I
Ferran Torres substitution, since I know you're so very like you love him as a player so
Dude,
very much.
I
Please.
love Ferran Torres, man. Don't oh my god, man. He is the player I have least liked ever since he joined Barca Firm City for 60 plus mil. Every time he's just in my opinion, right? You know he's got me pressed because of I can't get my thoughts out without trying to say a different thought at the same time.
Can I say something
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
that might, I don't know if it'll anger you anymore or if it'll like actually make you like not have any thoughts. Have you seen the David Villa comparisons
Oh my god,
on
please don't. Please
on
don't.
on, on social
No.
media? No, I'm so serious. I saw like two or three
No, please.
David David Villa comparison
Bro,
compilations because
please stop. Stop.
him and Villa wear the same number. They wear
Oh
7.
god.
And
Please
they
stop
were
it.
talking about it like Ferran Torres, he's carrying on
Ferran Torres
the
will never be a David Villa. Ever. Will never be a David Villa. And I will hold that to my grave, dude. I just don't like how he plays. He's just never done it for me. And the fact that he gets subbed on and he scores 2 goals to give Barca the win, dude, it just pushes my buttons in the right way that it's just like and the funny part is, I'm like, every time Hansi makes the sub, right? He brings on Ferran Torres. He usually either takes out Rafinha or he takes out Yamal, right? One of the two.
yeah.
And every time I'm watching the game and I see one of those two are getting subbed off, and I look, they cut over to Ferran Torres getting subbed on. I'm like, why? Why this guy? And every time, I promise you this. Every time I say this, and every time he gets subbed on, he goes and scores a goal. Or two. Or two. He did the same thing against Borussia Dortmund in the group stage, and I was like, oh god, why this guy? Backs 2 goals for
Yeah,
Barca.
He's Hansi Flick's
He's
super
secret
sub, man.
weapon,
I'm
bro.
telling you.
I don't get it. I
And
don't get it.
then
But like, listen, big props to him, right? But like,
yeah, and then I want to talk about just to really top off this game, Rafinha just really showing why he's having what they're saying is his Ballon d'Or season.
yeah,
They really scored the fourth goal because of him. He's a relentless presser. It was the
he
95th minute, and I think he was still trying to get the ball back,
he
and
does
he
not
chased the
stop.
ball back. He chased the ball back from a throw-in, because that's how they scored the fourth goal. It was off of like a bad throw-in from
Yeah,
Atletico, and he recovered it, and then fed it to Ferran for him to score his fourth. So yeah, I
yeah.
think Rafinha's had.
Dude,
I
he
really
did the
think.
same thing. I know we talked about his off camera the other day, but he did the same thing he did against Atleti. He did against Benfica away. He got that. He pressured the ball. He got it. He won it, and he scored. I know
Yeah,
this time he
like
didn't score. He gave the assist, but like it turned into a goal. But it's a big dub for him this season. I think he's done very well. But speaking of goals, right,
mhm,
in La Liga,
yes.
Mbappe is at 31 goals this season. He's already surpassed Vinny Jr.'s Ballon d'Or season at 26. What do you think?
Um,
Is
I
he?
mean, it's nice to see that especially after at the beginning of the season, everybody was like on top of him. They were saying some bad things about him. They were saying like he was never going to be able to start scoring.
Yeah,
Was he a waste of money?
he was getting
You know
dogged
what?
on the entire first quarter of the season.
Yeah. And you bring up Mbappe. I feel like we can talk about that Villarreal Real Madrid game.
Yeah,
Because that's where he scored his two goals this weekend.
1 goal. Vinny scored the other one.
No, Mbappe
Was
got both.
it really?
Yeah,
I thought it was. Oh shit,
Mbappe got both.
my bad, gang. My
No,
bad.
you're good, you're good. Mbappe got both. It was nice to see Madrid be able to win even when they weren't at their best. Because I
Yeah,
I can tell you I watched a big portion of that game, and they were under pressure a lot of the time. Really for that most of the 90 minutes.
yeah,
I want to talk about how they they went back to playing Chouameni as a center back,
yeah.
even though even though he absolutely hates playing as a center back, but he had a really good game as center back, considering the fact we have so many injuries. Mendy's hurt, Carvajal's still hurt,
You
Alaba's
got
supposed to be back.
Militao.
Yeah, Militao's hurt.
Ceballos is hurt.
Like
Vallejo's hurt.
yes, like there's so many players that are hurt, and it's nice to see Madrid still be able to win even when we weren't at their best. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I want to point out Courtois because Courtois' performance in this game, wow. He had 9 saves that entire game, and I'm not even like they were good saves. If you go back and watch the
Mm-hmm.
highlights from that game, they were good saves. Like he kept Madrid in the game. Pretty much after they conceded that first like sloppy set piece goal from Juan Foyth.
Yep.
Yo, I really have to say Courtois did his thing. He showed why he showed why he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He had nine again, he had 9 saves that
Yeah.
entire game. And then I bring up his 9 saves, and then Madrid had 9 total shots to Villarreal's 23.
Yeah. That's crazy, by the way. Villarreal, for a second, I thought they were gonna bring it back and tie the game. At one point, bro, he was a brick wall. He saved.
They played well, and then Mbappe scores his first goal in the 17th minute.
Yep.
It was a nice goal, and then he scored his second goal in the 23rd, which it was a really off balance goal. He received, I think, with his left foot, and then
Mm-hmm.
he kind of hits it with his right, and he's just really you can see he's like falling backwards.
Yeah.
Lucky, but it was a nice goal into the right hand corner of the keeper. Like I said, Madrid were pretty much just under fire for the rest of that match. Like
It was.
they're just trying to drown. They were just trying to survive. That's what it looked like pretty much.
Yeah. No, dude. I was looking at Madrid's lineup, right, and it showed that Mbappe was a striker, Rodrigo was on the left, and Diaz was on the right.
Yeah.
They started the game off with no Vinicius Junior. Do you think Madrid plays better without Vinny? Do they play better with Vinny, or do you think like his character and his personality helps or hurts Madrid?
I feel like it's a difficult question to answer because again, like Madrid don't have a full strength team.
Yeah,
Like there was the lineup wasn't at its like 100% and they were still able to perform.
yeah,
I do always say and have always said that his attitude is not, I don't like it. I just don't like the way he complains and behaves. Especially I think it was we saw it in the last Champions League game.
the Athletic game after, yeah,
Yeah, like Bellingham was even yelling at him because Vinny lost possession and Vinny was
like
like
just
complaining.
yeah,
And
Vinny
then
lost possession, didn't track back or anything, and Bellingham won for the I believe went for the tackle and won the ball
yeah.
back, and then or got the throw in at least to stop the counter or whatever it was.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
we saw like you said we saw Bellingham like hit his fist to the floor and look back at Vinny and just pure anger and yell at him, be like bro, track back.
Yeah, and then in the same in the game in that game in the Atletico game, he got subbed off and he was going to sit on the bench and he was like having a confrontation with the fans.
I
And he
did
was
see
like
that,
he was talking
yeah.
about and telling him he was like, "Oh, Champions League." I'm like, "Why do you have to like do all that?"
Yeah.
Like
Speaking
his
of like
attitude his attitude is
yeah.
like it's just not
It's the I don't know if it's ego or not, but like his ego's like
oh,
insanely
it's
high.
definitely ego.
But like speaking of how he acted with that Atleti fans that game, right?
Hmm.
At the very end, when Madrid celebrating and with their away fans and everything, I don't know if you saw a clip or not, but I saw it afterwards of
Hmm.
Vinny putting down his Real Madrid jacket on the floor and laying it out on the pitch and like kind of pointing at the Atleti fans and then pointing at the Madrid emblem, being like, "We're I'm Madrid, like we won."
No, I did
Yeah,
not
bro.
see that. Really?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did
yeah,
that?
yeah. He,
My
bro,
God.
I saw that. I'm like, bro, I'm like, why are you doing? I'm like, you get. This is why, like, he gets so much hate, right? Because he just does stuff like this. He does the 15 champions on the bench with the fans. He pulls this stunt, and it's not like he had a great game that game. He had one of his
Yeah.
worst, like playing one of his what's it called? One of his worst performances ever, I think, in a Madrid jersey, and it was against Atletico, especially after missing that penalty.
Oh yeah, he missed that pen in that game too, yeah.
Yeah, you can, yeah. I
Uh,
think, like I said, it's a tough one to call. I definitely think it hurts Madrid, but it is a tough one to call. It is a tough one to call.
yeah.
Do you think he is targeted unfairly, or he does it to himself?
Players are targeted all the time, I feel. Not all the
Yeah,
time, but players do receive like the trash talk or like the hate comments or
Yeah.
all things like that. But I do feel like sometimes he does kind of bring the attention onto himself. I don't know, there's no need to be talking about how many Champions Leagues you have all the time. Like there's no need to always be getting into confrontations with the fans. Like I find it so useless, unnecessary to be doing that.
Yeah.
Even after you have a bad game. Like if you have a bad game, just sit down. Just sit down. Just you got subbed
Yeah.
off. Dude,
Just
why are
sit
you
down and move
yelling at the
on.
fans? Is that
Don't.
what?
I said just sit down and move on. Like like you said, don't take it out with the fans.
Yeah.
They're always gonna yell at you. They're always gonna say stuff at you. But like you just gotta take it with a grain of salt and just move on. But
Yeah.
one of the my last few things I was gonna ask you, my bad. The title race in La Liga. Who do you think has the edge right now? Who do you think's gonna take
It
it?
I mean it's funny. It's not funny, but it's got really close. It's a really title race.
Very close title race.
Madrid won against Villarreal and put them second, and I think Barca beating Atletico puts them first. They're tied in points with both 60 apiece.
Yeah, and Barca does
But
have a game in hand though.
yes, and they also have that massive goal difference because Barca scores so many goals.
I think they have what 1,215 goals so far.
Not sure the total, but I know they have a plus 48 goal difference over Madrid. So that's
Yeah, that's
obviously a lot. And then we
just
have after uh Real Madrid, we have Atletico in third with 56, Athletic Club with 52 in fourth. I don't think Athletic Club reaches third. I mean, they're 4 points behind Atletico.
it
They
could
could,
happen, but
yeah. But I mean, the Atletico doesn't have the Champions League to play for anymore, so they're focused on La Liga.
yeah,
Madrid and Barca both have the Champions League, and Madrid do not have um I don't want to say yeah, they don't have a favorable matchup in the next round. Barca don't either. I'd be interesting to see, but I feel like ultimately it will come down to whoever is out of the Champions League.
first between the two.
Yeah, like whoever like I feel like the winner of La Liga will be whoever's not in the Champions League. I think we have to just wait and see after this round. But if you want me to say a team
Yeah, pick a
and
team, man.
you want me to give you a name,
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I feel like Madrid could probably take it. You could probably sneak it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, got it.
You know, me as a Barca fan,
Yeah.
no bias here.
Hmm.
No, I think Barca's gonna take it, regardless if they're in the Champions or not. I
Nah,
think they'll edge it. I don't think it'll be a very clear win. I think they'll edge it. I think it'll come very close to like the last three games. But I think Barca takes it.
it's fun though. This is we haven't seen a La Liga title race like this in a long time.
No,
Last couple of years,
it's been a good
they've
one.
all been like pretty. How you say? They've all been straightforward.
Yeah, it's either been like one or the other is clearly gonna win it.
Yeah.
Not this year. This year you got three pretty much to see
Yeah,
who's
like
gonna take
last
it.
year there was a 10-point gap in between first and second,
Yeah,
and this year, we're still tied at points. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see ultimately. But I feel like Madrid again, they can probably sneak it if they win the remainder of the games and they don't slip up. But again, they have a lot. They do
Yeah.
tend to slip up in La
And then
Liga.
speaking of other title races, right? We
Yes.
had the Serie A.
Oh yeah, there
That's
was a
a
lot of exciting games this
yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
A lot of exciting things in the Serie A this weekend. Another close title race from them, but I think the first game we want to talk about is Inter v Atlanta. Atalanta. What was it
The
three red cards in that game?
Yes, there
Yeah,
were three red cards, and the game ended 2-0 in Inter's favor, if I'm not
correct,
mistaken.
correct.
Yeah, three red cards. Well, first let's talk about the first goal. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on that first Inter like set piece goal?
I thought it was good, man. I liked it. I liked it. But I thought it was well done. What do you think?
It was good. He was pretty Renato Augusto was pretty much alone in the box. He
Pre-
had a free header after that, a great cross
yep.
from, if I'm not mistaken, it was Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Of course, in my opinion, he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world right now,
So good. So good.
but don't let anyone who just follows the Premier League hear that. And then we had Lautaro Martinez's goal in the 87th minute. That was I don't know, it was. It was a good finish. I thought it was a good striker. I'm surprised nobody's come knocking at Inter's door for him because you could really get that guy for cheap,
I
considering the
think.
fact that Inter have like so much financial
Oh yeah.
troubles.
I
Like,
personally think he doesn't want to leave Inter. So I think he's just that's why.
yeah, he's happy.
Yeah, I think he's just happy at Inter, man. He gets playing time. Like he's a starter for the most part. He's scoring goals. They won the Serie A last year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I can't.
He made it to the final in the Champions League. Like, I don't know, man. I think he's just happy. He's just happy.
I mean,
But
there's always speculation around him, to be honest.
yeah,
There's like Arsenal, big crazy shout, but hear me out. It's off the top of the head.
okay.
Imagine him in a Madrid jersey.
I do not want that.
Just hear me out.
I know.
But
I'll hear you out.
nah,
I just
that's
don't
we
want
could
it to
save that for
happen.
another for
Yeah,
another
that's a discussion for another day.
for another day. Uh, but besides those two, the Inter scoring the two goals, we did have Ederson get that that your red card in the
Oh my
81st
god,
minute.
man.
That was so
Jesus Christ.
so uncalled for.
Does
What do
the
you?
foul, complains to the ref, gets a yellow for that, and then he claps at the ref after already getting a yellow. And then he gets another yellow, gets red. Why? No need to do it. Like, it's just so unnecessary. It literally cost Atalanta the loss pretty much because not just a few minutes after it came out that it was a goal, but it was, I don't want to say funny to see because it's not funny to any player get a red card, but it was I don't know, I guess comical on the way he handled the situation on clapping. You can't clap at a ref. Come on, man. Like it just doesn't just don't do it. Not necessary. Shouldn't just like most reactions are gonna get you a yellow card. So just avoid it. Avoid
Yeah,
it, especially if you're already on a yellow.
yeah. No, it was pretty dumb from him to continue to like agitate the ref. Uncalled for. And then you had Gasparini get that red card as well in the 88th minute
Yeah.
for complaining again to the referee. Uh, for I'm not really sure what he was complaining about, but yeah, it's straight. He got a straight red.
Yep.
Bastoni with probably the most unnecessary,
It's another humble
like,
situation I think, which is
yeah, I mean, if
no
you want to
need
say
to.
that, if you want to say that, it was like the most unnecessary foul in the 95th minute to try to recover interpossession for I don't know what reason, but
Yeah,
sure.
they're 2-0 up. You're good.
Yeah, so he goes in for that tackle and he just yeah. What do you think? Straight red? Warranted to get the straight red?
Yeah, yeah. There's no need to do it, man. There's no need to do it
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
that's completely unnecessary from him. Their defensive shape was non-existent. I feel like every time they lost the ball, they were just trying to transition back and recover something. But there was nothing. There was legitimately no shape.
How shocked were you the fact that Fiorentina beat Juve 3-0 this this weekend?
I was very happy to see Fiorentina beat Juve. It was a really I don't even want to say back and forth game. It was just mostly Fiorentina
Dominating.
dominating. I want to start by starting off with the fact that Juve have no shape. They look like they have no idea what they're doing.
Nah, dude, they looked so lost during that game.
Yes,
So
they look
lost.
lost,
Yup.
like so lost. It was everything from the like playing out from the back to the build up to the midfield being so
Bro,
empty.
Juventus
Like,
midfield looked like a lost dog trying to find his mother or father again. That's how
no,
bad it looked.
I don't even think it was that there was nobody in the
Yeah.
midfield. Like, and they have a good midfielders. Like you have Kefren Turam, and then you have
Yep.
like Locatelli's good, and then they were playing Weston McKennie as more of a right center attacking mid. But even then, like he's like another really good center mid for Juve.
Coupe as well. I
Coop
think that's
Miners, yes.
Coupe Miners. Sorry, that's how you pronounce the name.
Yes, Coop Miners. He was playing as the center attacking mid
Yeah.
behind Kolo Muani. But yeah, like I said, apparently Juve lined up or they started that game with a 4-2-3-1. But I saw none of that when they were like again when they were building up.
Yeah.
There was nothing. The midfield was vacant. There was no center mids like becoming options or trying to get open for
Yeah.
a pass or anything. I'm not
Nothing.
sure what Thiago Motta's trying to do.
I have no clue either, dude. Fiorentina just literally steamrolled like right through them.
Yeah.
It was bad, and then dude, the one key player for Fiorentina's win that day I think was Fagoli, who had an outstanding game. He had 2 assists, I believe,
Yes.
and just in general, just absolutely played so well the entire game. He controlled it. He did so many key plays to get the goals and everything else, but he just killed it. Very good.
Yeah. Funnily enough, he is a Juve player.
Yeah, right.
He's on loan uh, at Fiorentina right now from Juventus.
Which is crazy.
So he he
Goes
he
and
played well. I
does
think.
that masterclass against them.
Yeah. No, he had a couple passes that really split like that Juventus backline apart. The non-existent one that was trying to be there.
Yeah.
He had two chances created, and then he had 36 of 40 passes completed. Like he had 36 accurate passes out of 40 passes that he attempted. So that's crazy. That's a really good. No, it was nice to see. And then you had also Albert Goodmanson
Let's
score a
go.
goal
Another
as well.
Albert.
He was a Parma player last season. He's good as well. He's the Icelandic forward.
Yep.
And then happy to see De Gea playing well at
Yeah.
Fiorentina after Manchester United disrespected him. It's nice to see him actually, being appreciated at a club and not being told how bad of a goalkeeper he is, even after he saves the team and makes like game-winning saves. Yeah, and then
Another Juve player that's playing well at Fiorentina. He was
he,
a
he
he was a Juve player last year or last
oh yeah, yeah.
season. I don't know if he's on loan. I think he got bought by Fiorentina, but we didn't see him. He was subbed on minute 89. He had like 2 or 3 chances, I believe, or something like that.
You said he was subbed off minute 89. Yes, that is correct. He was subbed off minute 89.
Yeah. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, no, no, he good. No, he played good. He's another striker. I think during the summer, teams were like, oh, they were looking at him. I think Arsenal or even Everton. He was an Everton player before too. Everton was like
Yep.
was linked to him, so it's nice to see. And then I do want to point out that the player that had the highest rating for Juve was Weston McKennie.
American made, my man. American made.
Yes, sir. Even after all of the disrespect he has received, including from last season when they were trying
Oh
to
yeah.
get rid of him and sell him, and they're saying how he was the worst player on the team. Look at him. He's still playing well. 7.3. Everybody had nothing but orange.
Yep. He's.
Lord.
I just think, just to speak a little bit on American footballers or ballers, I just think Americans don't get that respect that they deserve. You know, like Weston McKennie, Pulisic. Just they're so good, man. They're so good. But
I agree.
speaking of what,
Captain America is
yeah.
really good, yes.
Speaking of what went wrong, right? Dude, Bologna just hammered Lazio 5-0. Absolutely destroyed. They literally put their on the table, you know? They just went full blown. Full blown. Oh
That's
god. What
crazy of you to say. Yes,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
but
but
they dominated the entire time. It's just it was, I don't know, it was cool to see in my
it was, it
opinion.
was, it was a good match.
It was good. Bologna dominated pretty much the entire game. We had goals in the first half, minute 16 and minute 48. One from Odgaard and the other one from Orsolini, or
Yes.
as they tried calling him, Orsenaldo, which is I found really funny.
I've never ever heard anybody refer to him
I
as that,
haven't
but
I haven't either, but that's what they said in the commentary when he scored the goal, and I found it really
really,
funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
never. All right, I'll take your word for it.
But
That's
they
hilarious.
they continue to dominate the second half. As you can see, they won the game 5-0.
Did not know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
dude.
to
And
cut you off.
then
I did not know Juan Miranda played for Bologna.
yeah,
Wow.
another
Wow.
another surprising game this week. Napoli, bro, drawing to Venezia.
Yeah.
Just a
They dropped
team's
points.
yeah, a team second in the table, dropping points to a team 19th in the table.
Yeah, it was a pretty like tight game. Napoli really just could not bring Venezia down.
No, yeah,
Napoli got shut down. They really should have performed better in a game that they needed to win.
yep,
I and it's like you said, they are. I believe, 2 points, 3 points now from Inter in the title race, and they have Atalanta in third that are a couple points behind them as well. So
Yeah,
that's another league where the title race is getting good.
very good. With I mean, they have
Man,
what, 9 games remaining in the season too, so
yes,
it's not gonna
man,
it's gonna come down to the wire too.
maybe
So
football is getting fun again. Look at
maybe,
all these
man,
leagues.
maybe. Speaking of football getting fun again, right? Dude,
Yes,
we saw Newcastle end their 70-year drought against Liverpool, bro.
yes,
Historic
it's
moment for the club. Like,
so
insane to
nice to see
see.
that.
So happy to see. Especially, I love to see it for Isaac, for all the Geordies out there, bro. Big up Newcastle, right? Big up
Nah,
Newcastle, but
Isaac played really well. Even at the end of the game, he got the Henri shouts, comparing him to
yeah.
Henri, saying all of that.
Henri
Uh,
himself saying it, which is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And then I don't know if you saw the the videos that they were like posting on social media on like Instagram and
Nah.
stuff. It was how like Isaac like tracked the ball and he knew where the ball was gonna land.
Yeah.
Like when he scored his like I think it was his second goal and it was like yeah that's a really that's a good goal, man. He's a good striker.
He's a very good striker.
He's come a long way, to be honest, since
A little
he
fun fact on Alexander Isak, bro. Did you
mm,
know? Well, he now helped Newcastle end their 70-year drought, right? You also know
yeah,
when he played for Sociedad, he also helped them end their 35-year drought.
really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
So
crazy. I
he
did
goes
not know
from
that.
team to team ending droughts, bro. That's just him. He's him.
That's crazy. I wanna correct myself. He scored one goal in that final. It wasn't two.
Did you see his celebration after he scored the goal though?
Yeah, he was like on top of the stands and
No,
he was
before it, right? Literally the moment after
no,
so he ran past Van Dyke and he did the little. That's him. That's who's defending me, kind of vibe.
no.
Yeah, he did the little thumb backwards. He's like, him, me. Yeah,
Yo, that's
it's tough. It's
crazy.
tough, dude. It's tough.
Wow.
He's good.
That's good. I mean, he's man, he's had a good season. He has 19 goals,
Yeah,
5 assists this season. That's really, that's good compared. I mean, they bought him for a reason when he played
yeah.
for Sociedad.
I think he
Um,
started off fairly slow this season, but as we've seen as the season has progressed, he has just become a very crucial part to Newcastle's success so far.
yeah. He's good. I mean, he's one of those players that if he is fit and he does not, you know, get hurt like he was last season, he
Hmm.
can score goals for you and,
Yeah.
do this. And it's funny, the Jan reshots are good, honestly. And not good, but like you kind of have to agree with them sometimes because he can play off the left as well.
Yeah.
And not only like through the middle.
No, you can definitely see the shouts and the resemblance to Henri, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong to comparing it, man. But
Yeah, I agree.
I think to what's your to wrap up the podcast for today, right?
Yeah.
Any final takes you got for today's like or past weekend's games or anything like that? Who what you saw surprised you the most, or what you found exciting the most?
I mean, I keep mentioning it's fun to see all of these leagues like really coming down to the wire.
Yeah,
And like the table is becoming like so close. So it's I'm really interested to see who ends up winning titles where. Maybe Napoli do end up sneaking the Serie A out.
any final takes on this week's games or anything like that?
Really just excited to see how a lot of these leagues end up finishing. Like I said, maybe we can see Napoli sneaking the Serie A, or even who knows, Atletico can maybe sneak La Liga.
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
No, I agree with you.
Football's
I'm excited to
football's crazy.
see
So
how all the leagues end up. And then just for a little quick preview on what we're going to talk about next week, stay tuned for our predictions on Champions League's quarterfinals, who we think is going to take the first leg of them, and then who we think goes on from there. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for us. Thanks for
yeah.
listening. Follow us on our Instagram, on our Spotify. It's all the Red Card Report, and subscribe and follow us for the next episode.
Uh, Thank you guys for listening. Where you guys are listening from. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.
See you guys.